After chemo, I often get these bouts of insomnia. Nights of lying awake, staring at the ceiling, no sleep at all, and just thinking to myself, God, you just gotta help me get some sleep. And I feel his response, no, let's talk instead. So it actually took me 11 months of dating Ashley before I said I loved her. I actually said to her, don't expect me to say this all the time. You see, I didn't want to say it just to say it. I only have 3 early memories of my father telling me he loved me, and of course I knew, but at the same time, the word love held such a meaning, I held on to it so tightly that I always thought the more people said the word love, the less it meant. It wasn't until later, until cancer, where I got to see a love that exists in a moment, no matter how dark and gritty that moment was. It was so present, so real. I felt and saw that love from Ashley as she became my caretaker in my 30s. So later, when I was stuck in a hospital bed for 10 days and she couldn't visit, I felt God calling out to me, speaking to me about this love. And he told me, you've been lied to. You hold back from saying it because you're uncomfortable, not because it means less to other people. I think that's the most beautiful thing about God. Even in trial, he requires something of us. He requires growth. He requires progression. Yes, he's a provider, and yes, he's a caretaker, and his grace and his mercy are so real, and they flow over me constantly. But at the same moment, he also never stops asking something from us. I just think that's a beautiful thing. So lying there in the hospital bed, there was this new love that God was revealing to me. He was peeling back layers and unrooting something in me where I've been lied to my whole life. He said to me, you need to immediately change the way you talk about and express love to others. And that required something in me, a lot of me. I'm 36 now, so for 35 years, I've been talking and expressing love in one way. Very close-knitted, very contained and shut off, and God is saying, no, open up to everybody. Tell everybody how you feel about them now. Go forth. I needed those closest to me to never question how I felt about them. And because of the simple act of obedience, I see love everywhere now. Through that conversation, he's not allowing this cancer to be an excuse for me, to stop growing, to stop challenging me. I felt the Lord tell me, I'm going to require something of you, and you're going to go out and do it, because I am the Lord. Ashley and I's story is a story of resilience because it's built on hardship. We've gone through more in the first 3 years of marriage than most people go through in 30, 40 years. We've gone through pain, we've gone through hardship, we've gone through trial, we've gone through emotional turmoil, truth that requires us to act, and act now. There's an explorer, Ernest Shackleton, who I really love, and once said, by endurance we conquer. I sort of feel like that's the theme of our lives. Conquering doesn't necessarily mean overcoming. You see, Shackleton, his goal was to reach the South Pole, and he tried 3 separate expeditions and never succeeded. But I believe he was victorious because on one of his expeditions, his boat was crushed in the ice, and he kept 28 men alive for a year and a half in freezing temperatures. In the past couple years, I've become a better human, a better man, a better father, better husband, better friend. I'm more generous, I'm more giving, I'm more emotionally available for my wife. I'm able to connect with people in ways I'd never been able to before, and I'm more forthright with my faith. That is victory. I am victorious. I may not overcome cancer, but I've already conquered it. I think what God's been showing me is that true sanctification cannot happen apart from pain. Jesus had to die for us, to experience and partake in the power and the beauty of the rebirth. God gives me a resilience to walk through this pain in order to see his power made perfect through me. I often find myself weeping because I don't have the words to express to others how, whenever I close my eyes in the midst of pain, in the midst of trial, in the midst of struggle, that when I close my eyes, there's a grace that washes over me that I just don't have the words to describe. Yes, God expects of us, even more so in trial. But what a beautiful and powerful thing to be entrusted with this experience. I am a vision builder by way of terrain.